Multiple companies, including WWE, are reportedly interested in the first ever AEW World Champion Chris Jericho amid his AEW contract expiring at the end of this year. Plus, we got the ratings for Tuesday's edition of WWE NXT, and it's the lowest numbers since WWE's developmental brand has moved to the CW network. All this and more in this news update. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with the latest surrounding the uncertain future of Le Champion, the first ever AEW World Champion, the first ever undisputed WWE Champion, Chris Jericho. Now, a new update on his future comes courtesy of Sean Rossap of Fightful Select. And as I mentioned, Chris Jericho has been absent from AEW television for the longest period of his run with the promotion, but there's still plenty of speculation surrounding him. As of now, Chris Jericho's contract is scheduled to conclude at the end of 2025, barring the possibility of an extension or that his deal is frozen. Fightful say they've not heard of him being brought up creatively in AEW, but his creative is different, as creative is typically discussed directly with Tony Khan himself. Now, Khan has made it clear he wants to see Chris Jericho back in All Elite Wrestling. It was claimed in AEW that the relationship is still strong, but Fightful say they've not heard from anyone close to Jericho on his view of the circumstances right now. Even though Jericho's contract isn't up yet, Fightful Select's Sean Rossap has confirmed that multiple companies on a national and global level are interested in using Y2J, including WWE. Now, Fightful stressed they have not heard if there's been any direct conversations about him or creative ideas discussed, but he has been brought up among higher-ups in WWE. It was clarified to Fightful a couple of months ago that he wasn't discussed from a creative perspective within WWE, but a staff member did say they felt like his mentions and references and the reaction on WWE television to him from the audiences were a good sign of interest. Of course, we've seen John Cena reference Chris Jericho on WWE television by utilizing his Walls of Jericho submission move recently on a WWE PLE. Now, one WWE source indicated that Jericho would almost certainly get offered several $1 million annually to return to WWE, but said at this stage they believe AEW could match it, and they weren't even sure what Jericho's motivations currently were. So we'll let you know if we get any more details on this, but what do you think is happening with Jericho and his future? Is he going back to WWE? Is he sticking in AEW? Let me know your thoughts as always in the comments section below. Now let's switch over to the ratings for Tuesday's episode of WWE NXT, and it's not pretty viewing for WWE. Now, PW Torch is reporting that WWE NXT drew 525,000 viewers on the CW network on October 21st. Now, this number is down from the 690,000 viewers the show drew on October 14th. It's down 24%. This is the lowest viewership total since NXT moved to the CW network on October 1st, 2024. Tuesday's episode scored a 0.07 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic, which is down significantly 42% from the 0.12 demo rating last Tuesday. The demo rating is tied for the lowest in show history. Now, NXT was up against the opening night in the NBA, which featured the 2025 NBA champions Oklahoma City Thunder against the Houston Rockets. Of course, this comes at a time which ratings are being calculated differently as part of a new Nielsen Big Data Plus panel model. Going back over to AEW and an update on the return of former AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland to All Elite Wrestling Television. Of course, you may remember this summer, Fightful Select reported that former AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland would be sidelined for months as he needed meniscus surgery. Swerve, according to a new report from Fightful Select, had been working with an injured meniscus since his WWE days and finally needed it fixed. The time off had been planned for quite some time. Sources that Fightful Select's Sean Rossap spoke to said that as of this past weekend, the optimistic hope was that Swerve Strickland could be ready for a, quote, winter return, end quote, to AEW action. This is, of course, barring any setbacks. Fightful have heard that December is a possibility, but nothing as of right now is set in stone. There were rumours that originally Swerve was going to take some time off after All In, which ended up happening a little bit later. Now, he recently posted a photo of himself in the recording studio. If we get any more details on his road to recovery, we'll let you know in an upcoming video. Speaking of injury returns, this time former Women's World Champion Liv Morgan in WWE. This past June, Liv Morgan endured a separated shoulder injury that sidelined her for the remainder of the year, leaving WWE without one of its top stars. At the time of her injury, Morgan was still one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions alongside Raquel Rodriguez, but has since been replaced by most recent member of the Judgment Day, Roxanne Perez. Although the timeline for Morgan's return is still uncertain, there's recently been an update regarding her health status and possible creative plans once she's back in action. According to PW Insider, it is expected that Morgan will return to the ring by early 2026, with there being a possibility that she comes back even sooner if she's progressing well enough in her physical rehab. The report noted that many sources within WWE are thrilled to see Morgan return to the women's division when she's ready. The former Women's World Champion is also said to be one of the most popular WWE stars in Saudi Arabia, and with the Royal Rumble being held from Riyadh next year, the company would likely want her healthy by January. PW Insider also assumes that WWE will try to keep Morgan's return a closely guarded secret in order to get the biggest fan reaction possible. Morgan has also dealt with some issues outside of the ring this year, with her alleged stalker, Sean Chan, looking for her at the WWE Performance Center and attempting to enter her home this past May before being arrested at the developmental facility days later. Chan is scheduled to stand trial in Florida in November, but an official trial date is yet to be determined. Additionally, before her shoulder injury, Morgan starred in the film Bad Lieutenant Tokyo, which is set to hit theaters in August of 2026, but PW Insider claims that the release date could potentially change in the near future. Speaking of returns to WWE television, just where is AJ Lee right now? It's been over a month since AJ Lee has been seen on WWE TV, with her most recent appearance taking place at WrestlePalooza when she and her husband CM Punk defeated Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch in tag team action. Following the event, it seemed like Lee was in line to wrestle Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, but her recent absence prompted fans to question if she picked up an injury in her return match. Thankfully, in a now deleted Facebook post, Lee shared an update on her hiatus from the ring and assured fans that she's healthy. Quote, "On a book tour, not injured, but I appreciate the concern. Also, thanks Becky Lynch for keeping the title warm for me. Mama will be back soon." Earlier this year, Lee released a comic book titled Day of the Dead Girl Volume 1, which she co-wrote with American actress Amy Garcia. Both writers have worked on several comic books together for the past 6 years and co-founded their own media company in 2020 under the name Scrappy Heart Productions. Lee's most famous project is arguably the memoir she released in 2017 called Crazy Is My Superpower. Now, as for Lynch, her most recent challenger for the Women's Intercontinental Championship has been Maxine Dupree, who has scored 2 technical victories over the man without the title changing hands, due to both victories occurring via disqualification and countout. Going forward, it remains to be seen if Dupree will get another shot at the title or if Lee will be Lynch's next challenger upon her impending return. Now, it's NXT Halloween Havoc this weekend, and one of the standout matches is this Broken Rules match, where the Hardys will be defending their NXT Tag Team Championships against Dark State. The Hardys became broken on Tuesday's NXT, marking the first time they've channeled their personas that were a huge hit in TNA wrestling in 2016 into 2017. The gimmick famously led to cinematic matches, most notably the final deletion between Matt and Jeff in TNA. Speaking on his Extreme Life of Matt Hardy podcast, Matt clarified what Broken Rules entails. Quote, "A Broken Rules match is basically a match with no rules. Anything goes, anything can be used, we can fight all over the building. The standard rules in a pro wrestling match are broken," he said. Now, asked by host John Albert if it's going to be a cinematic match or a match at the arena, Matt replied, quote, "It's going to be a real match in the arena." Now, it's unknown which 4 members of Dark State, whether it's Dion Lennox, Cutler James, Saquon Sugars, or Cyrus Griffin, will compete against the Hardys. But indeed, the match, as I mentioned, is going to be taking place inside the arena. Now, speaking of Matt Hardy, he's provided a bit of an interesting update here when it comes to the impending new TNA television deal. TNA President Carlos Silva has spoken optimistically about a new TV deal for TNA, saying he hoped to get things done by TNA Bound for Glory. Now, the annual pay-per-view, TNA's arguably biggest of the year, came and went without a new deal being announced, but Matt Hardy believes it's coming sooner rather than later. He said, quote, "I think some very exciting things are on the horizon. I think, from what I'm hearing, by the end of this year, first of next year, there is going to be a new media rights deal announced. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge for TNA, just being somewhere where we get more eyeballs on the product. We do have a very solid product, and I like what we're doing. The fact we've grown, especially in attendance, ticket sales, and buy rates, I'm proud of everybody. Everybody has busted their ass and worked really hard, Matt said on his Extreme Life of Matt Hardy podcast. Matt praised the booking team, Nick Nemeth, Joe Hendry, Mike Santana, and WWE, the partnership they have with the promotion for the growth and direction of TNA. Of course, if we get any more details on what that TV deal looks like, an announcement, anything like that, we'll let you know in the future. Sticking with TNA here, and Mustafa Ali is among several top talents that could have their contracts expiring by the end of the year. Now, Fightful Select say in a new report they have learned of a number of TNA talent who will see their contracts expire at the end of 2025. Among them, Sean Ross Sapp has confirmed, is that of Mustafa Ali. Ali is the leader of Order 4 and has become a dependable star for TNA, heavily featured, of course, in the NXT TNA crossover. Ali confirmed again his signing to John Albert of Sports Illustrated earlier this year. Fightful Select has confirmed that Mustafa Ali's deal goes through the end of 2025, and he appears to be keeping his options open as of now. Fightful have been told that Ali was welcomed back to NXT upon appearing there. Shawn Michaels, of course, who runs NXT, has long been a big advocate of Ali. Switching over to Ring of Honor here, and a big ROH World title match is set for next week. Bandito will put his ROH World title on the line against Mascara Dorada on the October 30th episode of ROH TV. This is a rematch from their recent CMLL match. It was a CMLL versus AEW / Ring of Honor contest in June. The Most Wanted picked up the victory in that bout, successfully defending his ROH World title. Along with holding the ROH World title, Bandito is one half of the AEW World Tag Team Champions alongside Brody King. He challenged Kazuchika Okada for the AEW Unified Championship on Wednesday's AEW Dynamite, but came up short in his efforts to add more gold to his collection. Now, we've also seen Red Velvet return to Ring of Honor television, and she has called out Mercedes Moné. Due to Red Velvet being injured, she was not able to defend her Ring of Honor Women's World Television Championship at Supercard of Honor back in July. It was then decided to present a four-way match to crown an interim ROH Women's World TV Champion, and emerging victorious from that was Mina Shirakawa. Shirakawa held the bout up until AEW's Wrestle Dream pay-per-view, where she faced TBS champion Mercedes Moné in a title versus title bout, and Moné defeated her to capture the interim ROH Women's TV title. During the October 23rd episode of ROH on Honor Club, Red Velvet returned with her Women's World TV title over her shoulder. She put Mercedes Moné on notice, and a match could be set to take place in the near future. Now let's talk about GCW here, and one name, of course, closely associated is Nick Gage. GCW owner Brett Lauderdale has announced that Nick Gage is, quote, currently in treatment, end quote, and he plans to remain in a treatment program indefinitely. Lauderdale tweeted, quote, was going to hold off on any kind of public update, but I've seen people speculating, so I'll give a brief update. Nick Gage will not be attending any shows for the foreseeable future. He is currently in treatment and has been for several weeks and plans to stay indefinitely, Lauderdale tweeted. Any promoters that have made deposits for shows coming up that he will not be able to attend will be made whole as soon as possible. Expect an update directly from the man himself when the time is right. In the meantime, thanks to all who have been supportive. MDK all effing day. Now, Gage is no longer a part of Game Changer Wrestling, although he noted in 2024 that he remains close to Brett Lauderdale. Gage last wrestled for GCW in August 2024, but he continues to perform on the indies, including for CZW. Gage has suffered from substance abuse issues for much of his adult life. The 45-year-old had a stint in rehab in 2024. Now, a new report has put, numbers on the fact that WWE ticket prices have seemingly doubled since the TKO merger back in 2023. The price of WWE tickets in the United States and Canada has almost doubled since the completion of the WWE-UFC merger under TKO Group Holdings in September of 2023. WrestleNomics, using data obtained from Polestar, has reported that domestic WWE ticket prices for main roster events have risen dramatically when compared to ticket prices prior to the merger. When adjusted for inflation, the price of WWE tickets between 2020 and 2023 averaged $59. But while the average ticket price was not adjusted for inflation, was $52. So again, not too much of a difference. For 2024, the average price of WWE tickets in the United States and Canada, when adjusted for inflation, was $75. And the price has only risen again to $118 in 2025 so far. Pollstar's data does not include every taping of Raw and SmackDown, but their sample size is still substantial of 29 events in 2021, 48 shows in 2022, 53 events in 2023, 49 shows in 2024, and 27 events in 2025 so far. The increase of WWE ticket prices has been a deliberate strategy of TKO's, with TKO President Mark Shapiro suggesting in September that ticket prices and rises are set to continue, while also claiming that Vince McMahon primarily priced WWE tickets for families. Despite the rise in ticket prices, estimates from WrestleTix suggest that tickets distributed for WWE events are in their third consecutive year of growth, with an average of 11,500 per show so far in 2025, up from 11,000 in 2024, 9,900 in 2023, and 7,600 in 2022. Going over to Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling here, and Colt Cabana has been added to an upcoming show. Toronto, Ontario, Canada will play host to Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling's Arena Rumble event on October 27th. As the show date inches closer, more matches are being added to the mix. One of the newer announcements is that Colt Cabana will be in action. He'll be facing Ty Clodd for the Jewish Heavyweight Championship. Another title bout locked in for the show is TNA World Champion Mike Santana making his MLP debut. He'll be facing Sheldon Jean. And finally, a match has been confirmed for AEW Collision this weekend. Brian Keith will battle Ace Austin on the October 25th episode of AEW Dynamite. The bout was announced on social media on October 23rd. The bout stems from Big Bill and Brian Keith feuding with the Bang Bang Gang, that being Austin Gunn, Ace, and Juice Robinson. So there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.